What the hell is wrong with Kay Burley? In a car crash interview that was bad on both sides, yet again Kay Burley's interview style has just gone down a sewer. Now it's clear that Dame Angela Eagle wasn't on top of a brief or didn't feel the confidence to challenge some of the stuff that was being said to her, but the way she was spoken to, it was just outrageous. Women get a hard enough time in the media as it is. Newspapers such as the Daily Mail or the Express or TV shows like GB News are quite happy to focus on degrading women for what they wear, what kind of hairstyle they have, where they go on holiday, and yet in her first gotcha moment, the first question out the gate is, the Prime Minister's wife wore a dress. She's not even a politician. Yes, she's in the limelight because she's the Prime Minister's wife, but is she really the headline story? So what? She wore a dress. So what if she wears the same dress twice? You don't need to be splashing it all over the front section and trying to claim it's to do with expenses. And as a woman in the media, you would think that she kind of understands this more than most people. She also goes on to claim that even a backbencher called it crass and insensitive, and yet doesn't realise our own next paragraph is saying nicking £300 from pensioners is also crass and insensitive. It's here that Dame Angela should have pushed back and not pandered to it. At the end of the day, there are a lot of people watching this, and her language is going to scare people, and it doesn't come across as very professional. Poor pensioners are still going to receive it. The richest pensioners will not, but there are going to be people in the middle that are going to be rightly worried. So what Burley should be asking is, what are they going to do for them, so not to scare people and to find out what the government is doing to make sure that people will not go cold this winter. Instead, she wants the gotcha moment yet again. Look at me, I've got the flagship programme, I'm Billy Big Balls, I can say what I want. I'm sorry, but you have a responsibility to hold the government to account, and by that, you want answers that people are asking, not letting your personal feelings get in the way. Normally in car crash interviews, it's the interviewee that makes themselves look like a fool, whilst the interviewer takes them to task. But in this case, both of them make this an absolute train wreck of an interview.
Let me start with Lady Starmer's clothing. She looked great in her new outfit yesterday at London Fashion Week, worth £2,500. She has, though, been accused of crass insensitivity by one Labour backbencher. What's your view?
Well, I think that my understanding is that outfit was borrowed to try to showcase British fashion, which is one of our great export earners.
Yeah, but appearing yesterday at the fashion show was rather fanning the flames, wasn't it, of the controversy over accepting expensive clothing while her husband's nicking £300 from pensioners.
Well, I think that she was probably, I can't speak for her, but I think that she was probably wanting to play her part in highlighting British fashion at its showcase event and pointing out that, once again, that this is one of our great export industries.
OK, Daily Mail today suggesting Sir Keir has accepted at least £76,000 of freebies, including the Royal Box at Wimbledon, hospitality at a Coldplay concert, Arsenal away games with the Foreign Secretary in tow. The list goes on. How does that align with the son of a toolmaker, man of a people image?
Well, I think he's an Arsenal fan. I mean, it takes all sorts, I suppose.
Well, you can pay for his tickets like the rest of them.
But we only know about this because these things have been registered as appropriate, and I think the Prime Minister had his say on that.
If I may, he's taken £76,000 worth of freebies. He's going to great lengths to point out to us that he's a man of the people, and he's taking £300 off pensioners and taking £76,000 worth of freebies.
Well, look, I think it's important also to remember that with respect to pensioners, the triple lock is being maintained for the whole Parliament, and that means that pensions are going to rise by 2.5% by earnings or inflation, whichever is the greater. It means some difficult decisions that none of us wanted to make.
Yeah, does that mean the difficult decision of turning down freebies?
Well, you'll have to ask him.
You're representing the government today.
He had an explanation of the Arsenal visit. I'm not sure whether Coldplay is possible to have an explanation.
No, maybe we'll ask him. Rachel Reeves, Angela Rayner fighting over a 21-room Dorney Wood while pensioners are struggling to heat their homes. It's all adding up to a party that's at odds with working people.
Well, I think it's probably adding up to some newspapers that want to try to make that be the case. We know that Dorney Wood has always been a property that's loaned to chancellors. I certainly spent a couple of very nice occasions there when Alistair Darling was chancellor.
Good for you.
I'm here in Berlin to talk about the problems.
I'm coming to that. I'm going to come to that. I said that at the top. Dame Angela, do you accept, Dame Angela, do you accept that the optics are not good in the first 100 days of your party, that you are a party for working people?
Well, I think we've done a lot of good in the first couple of months, including dealing with the rail franchise fiasco, looking to see what we can do to extend bus travel, seeing what we can do in terms of creating a better business environment for some investment. And in fact, the
Italian Prime Minister, who feels that charity ships in the Med, the captains, should face huge fines if they carry out more than one rescue at a time, leaving other people. If I may ask the question, that was just a statement of fact at this stage.
Oh, okay.
Is that something that Labour and their government would condone?
Well, look, the Italians are a NATO partner and a G7 country. Prime Minister Meloni is entitled to her views. We don't have to agree with all of her views.
And would you condemn the Italian Prime Minister and her government for telling captains of charity ships in the Med that they can only carry out one rescue operation at a time?
Listen, we spend a lot of time working with our French counterparts in the Channel, rescuing people who are in peril. Unfortunately, only a few days ago, 8 more people died that are unseaworthy. But it's the same issue.
Body of water. That's not my question.
You have to work with people to deal with the humanitarian needs of people who are in the sea, is to work together with other partners to try to stop it happening across border. If people end up in the sea, of course they have to be rescued.
Okay, so you condemn the fact that the Italian government feels it appropriate that people should be left floundering in the sea if a charity captain of a ship had already done one rescue at that time.
I've made my view of international maritime law and the
so why won't you condemn the Italian
that it
government?
Imposes quite clear, and that is the British government's view, and that is what we do when we come across people who are floundering.
So why are we cozying up to the Italians
in dangerous waters? That is a statement of what we believe, and that is what I've just confirmed.
Boris Johnson's government boycotted Good Morning Britain because he didn't want to actually answer the questions that were being put to them. If Kay Burley carries on the way that she's going, it wouldn't surprise me if they just started boycotting Sky News, because they're not serious questions. Take that question on the Italian Prime Minister. She answered the question, and yet Burley keeps on and on and on and on. I can understand if she didn't get an answer, but do you really think that a Home Office minister is going to come onto national television and create an international diplomatic dispute because Burley keeps asking the same question over and over again? I don't know if Kay Burley is doing this because she feels she has to overcompensate because the last Tory government was just awful, or it might be the fact that she's a Tory and she's extremely frustrated that Labour have formed a government and she's letting her personal feelings get in the way of her professional conduct. Because you can see her doing exactly the same thing in the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.